They are each revered within their fields of science, engineering, and technology for exploits that have taken them to the outermost frontiers of our planet. With this year's focus on undersea exploration, the Explorers Club celebrated their 112th annual awards dinner at the Waldorf Astoria that was emceed by journalist Ann Curry, entitled Oceans, the Current of Life. From bold expeditions into the Mariana Trench, Earth's deepest known ocean bed, to pioneering projects directly below and above the surface of the North and South Poles. Their work is cutting edge and critical as global leaders chart a course to respond to global warming and other urgent issues facing the future of our world.
There's so much more to be done. And actually, I think personally that the people in this room are going to be the ones who do a lot of it. And that may be people who have been with the club for decades, or it may be some of you who are brand new to this whole experience. But what everyone shares in this room is an insatiable curiosity.
First to be recognized, Dr. Joe McCannis. For 5 decades, his work has earned him his nation's highest honor, the Order of Canada. He was first to explore the ocean beneath the ice at the North Pole and discover the Brettlebane, the world's northernmost shipwreck that sank in the Arctic in 1853. He was also among the first to dive to the Titanic, and in 2012 was a medical advisor and expedition journalist on the James Cameron National Geographic 7-mile journey to the deepest part of the Mariana Trench called Challenger Deep, reaching 35,756 feet below sea level, while scientists say it bottoms out at about 36,037 feet. Compared to Mount Everest that stands at 29,026 feet, the difference is a little over 7,000 feet. McManus received the Beebe Award named after pioneering undersea explorer William Beebe.
They did small things, hundreds of small things, with great love. They had team genius. So it is a singular honor for me to accept this award on their behalf.
Also accepting honors, Constance DeFede, who was presented with the Edward C. Sweeney Memorial Medal, named after the club's past president, who in the mid-1960s worked to further its mission. An active explorer who serves as vice president for special projects and director emerita, DeFede shares the same dedication while being a flag carrier herself, taking Explorer Flag number 25 to the South Pole in 2015 on Endurance 100, following the planned route of Shackleton's Endurance expedition through the South Pole with a concentration on the scientific and social work of Chief Scientist James Wardie. She's been on 9 other flag expeditions, including Mount Everest high-altitude research. DeFede has served the club in other capacities, including Chair of Flag and Honors, guiding a panel of members evaluating all applications to carry the club expedition flags.
Together, we listened to incredible stories of accomplishment, stories built on dreams of future exploration.
Speaking of flags, guests also celebrated the return of Flag 101 that accompanied 65 of the world's most respected photographers, videographers, artists, and scientists for Elysium Artists for the Arctic, a project aimed at inspiring people globally to appreciate and understand the Arctic.
You know, all of us right now are witnesses to the greatest change in all of human history in terms of what we're doing to the planet.
The evening was just one of several celebrations at the Waldorf, including this dinner reception held earlier, paying tribute to food, exploration, and cultures around the world.
Every year we give awards for humanity, courage, sea, land, and in other categories. So yeah, but we always celebrate women's accomplishments in science.
Receiving the club's citation of merit, archaeoastronomer Edmundo Edwards for his devotion to scientific study and the preservation of archaeology in Polynesia. A resident of Easter Island, Edwards has dedicated his life to analysis and the documentation of South Pacific history and cultures that began in 1957 while visiting the island. After returning in 1960 to work on the restoration of Ahu Akivi, he decided to make it his home.
We have, in the Explorers Club, we have the greatest technology in the world, and we have other people like me that don't have any technology, of course. We just look at the stars, and we learn things. But the important thing is that we are there We are explorers of space. We are explorers of the earth. We are explorers of the mind.
The celebration of travel and exploration continued with a live auction.
Sold $10,000 right here.
This followed by the presentation of the past president's medal, this year for Alan Nichols. Elected a Fellow of the Explorers Club in 1984, Nichols has carried the flag on 9 expeditions, focusing on sacred mountains and ancient roads, as well as traditional cultures. He's the first person to bicycle 10,300 miles from Istanbul, Turkey to Xi'an, China, following the legendary Silk Web. Edwards is also the first Westerner to circle by foot Mount Calais, the most revered mountain in Tibet after Chinese occupation.
Extremely different experience for me because I was president up to last year ago, and to hear was, I was going crazy, making sure, I didn't, other people did it all, but I had to worry about it.
The evening went on to feature keynote speaker David Gruber, a marine biologist, National Geographic explorer, and professor who talked about his work involving the exploration of bioluminescent and biofluorescent marine animals and their possible connection to the study of human cells.
The importance and magnitude of the ocean is almost unfathomable. We are the ocean. We're salty. Our tears, our blood. It's like we're all floating here in the Waldorf tonight with little oceans inside each and every one of us.
And finally, receiving an Explorer's Medal, legendary polar scientist Dr. Frederick Roots, whose many expeditions throughout his career, including his famous Norwegian, British, Swedish, Antarctic expedition from 1949 to 52, where 140,000 square kilometers of previously unknown mountain range was mapped, and the same for 7,000 square miles of unmapped mountains in the northern British Columbia. Dr. Roots also established the Polar Continental Shelf Project that looks to investigate and monitor the Arctic margin of Canada and the adjacent Arctic Ocean, a project still active today.
What's really terrific about this group is this feeling that science and exploration discoveries are really embraced and supported.
The evening also featured legendary zoologist Jim Fowler of the Emmy award-winning television show Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Johnny Carson and McLean Stevenson once did a skit on me, and Johnny was Merlin Pumpkin, and I was Jim Foul Up, if you know what I mean. But I've always had the respect and the honor of being somebody connected with the world-renowned Explorers Club.
Having these incredible individuals who have contributed only makes me feel so much more inspired. One of my friends texted me and said, "How are you enjoying it?" And I said, "I've never felt more humbled in my life."
Backstage, his son Mark Fowler on the board of directors was there with a few friends.
Well, I've been lucky enough to be exposed to wildlife my whole life and be on adventures and be exposed to some of the most amazing experiences. So I'm carrying on that legacy, and I'm very proud to.
Just take a look at this. They say tortoises move slow, but not 9-year-old Sully here, who's from the country of Mali. I'm here at the Waldorf Astoria for the 112th Annual Explorers Club Dinner. For BronxNet, this is Arlie Makoko.